We are live. Well, folks, this is Thursday at 3. That means it's time for Richmond Business Babes. And sitting behind me is the babe herself. Take it away, babe.
Thank you, the remarkable Ron, my producer. And welcome to Richmond Business Babes here on WRWK 93.9 FM, The Work,
Demonizing word
where
often
you will
hides
get
the
your
complexity
weekly
its
dose
meanings.
of celebrating
It's all about the
successful
word.
women all over
Observation.
the RVA, women who are making money doing what they love, loving what they do, owning and operating their own small businesses. I'm your host, Lisa Linnell, and we have a great show lined up for you. It's a little bit different today. It's all about not women entrepreneurs, but kidpreneurs, teens and young people who are starting their own businesses. So it's entitled Kidpreneurs and How to Become One. So first up, we are going to meet Alasha Bennett.
She's in the wings.
Oh, that's good. That's good. She is the founder of the Bennett Center, which is an organization that guides young entrepreneurs towards success. And then at the bottom of the hour, we are going to meet Maisie Foster. Maisie is a young lady that I happened to meet at the Richmond Kids Business Fair about a month ago. And Maisie is the owner of Simply Sewn Handcrafted by Maisie. So we'll meet Maisie, and I believe her dad may be coming on as well. And then the very end of the show, we're going to have a special guest. She is a return guest. It's Kim Moody. She has nothing to do with kidpreneurs, but she has everything to do with a fantastic wedding venue called the Estate at River Run. And she's going to tell us some special things that are happening there and what's going on. But before I introduce my first guest, which is Alasha Bennett of the Bennett Center, I just wanted to talk with you about a really exciting conference that I went to. It was a kids expo, Youth and Business Exchange, and it was the Richmond's Children's Business Fair. And I'll tell you, there were probably 70 to 80 vendors, children, tweens, and teens. And I was just blown away by how sophisticated their products, their signage, their marketing. They have the QR codes and just everything. And so many of them were just, exuding confidence. And some were a little on the quiet side, but it was just great to see them put themselves out there.
Wow.
Each one was exhibiting at his or her own booth, and it was really fun to walk through it. And one of the people that I met there is our first guest. So that would be Alasha Bennett, who is an adult. She's not a kidpreneur. She's a woman entrepreneur. And she is the founder of the Bennett Center. And before you come on, Alasha, I just want to give you a proper introduction. I was blown away by her exhibit there. She is putting on the same thing in Hampton Roads as what I saw in Richmond. And she's also going to bring an expo to the Richmond area. And she has published a book, which I'm going to hold up for those of you who are viewing through live streaming, Kids Business Success, and 50 Profitable Business Ideas and a Beginner's Guide to Entrepreneurship. And it's a really good book. I mean, I think I learned some things here in this book. So welcome, Alasha Bennett, to Richmond Business Babes. We're so happy you made the time to come on. How are you?
I'm doing well, and thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to, be able to spread the word.
Oh,
So thank you.
well, I've got your bracelet on, the 2024 Kid Expo of Hampton Roads. So I've got that on. So walk us down your career path and how you got to the point where now you're running the Bennett Center.
Absolutely. Well, I am a homeschool mother of three. I have a 26-year-old now. Whew.
Oh,
Um, so 26, 17, and 10. They
oh,
were all homeschool.
uh-huh.
And so I've always been on this kick of, being a homeschool mom, teaching my kids. I was a hairdresser for over 18 years.
So you
And
were your own businesswoman as a hairdresser.
exactly. I've
Uh-huh.
always been a serial entrepreneur, as they like to call us when we have our hands in a whole lot of pots, right?
Right.
But I was a hairdresser for over 18 years. And one day, a teacher sat in my chair and she was getting her hair done. And I was, a little confused or, disappointed about how the school system is going and how overcrowded the schools are. And, we got on a conversation and she said, well, ultimately, it's the parents' responsibility to make sure their children learn. And so I felt a way about that because if my kids are in school for 8 hours, sometimes 9 or 10, if they're going to after school or before school programs, and I still have to come home and help them with their homework, I felt some type of way about that. Of course, parents should be always involved in their children and helping the teachers and that sort of thing. But I decided that, well, let's take the middleman out and just do it yourself. Nothing wrong with other parents who are in the public school system or private school system. We can't all homeschool, we're not all set up that way. But if you can, mothers and fathers are the best teachers, right?
Yeah.
And so teaching
And
my
the first,
children,
and the first teachers.
correct.
Right.
So
What
And
year are we talking about when you had this aha moment with
oh,
the
my
teacher?
daughter's 26. So somewhere when she was like maybe three,
Oh, goodness.
three,
Okay.
4,
All right.
we were having that
2
conversation.
decades ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So she's already graduated. She's in college and she's still, doing college things. My 17-year-old, she's a culinary student. She's a dual enrollment student. So she's doing homeschool and she's at the local college,
Oh,
Tidewater Community College. She's doing
very cool.
culinary. She's almost finished with her associates and she'll be going to Johnson and Wales. So
And she's 17.
she's 17. Yes.
That's really kudos to you
And
because
all three of my kids
she's already will have her associates at age 17 and going to Johnson Wales. That's fantastic.
And all of my kids have businesses. So, they're authors. All of them are authors. They have a product that they're selling. So like you said, it went beyond me in teaching them the ways of business.
Right. And now how did you come to open the Bennett Center, and tell us about that?
I wanted to be able to help other children as well, especially from impoverished areas. I didn't grow up in the best of, with a silver spoon in my mouth either, So I wanted to be able to, people that were in the same situation or, not doing so well, help them come out of poverty. And that's what the Bennett Center is all about. And then we do that through, youth entrepreneurship.
And is it a for-profit or nonprofit?
It is a nonprofit.
Nonprofit. And when did you open that?
2016.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's 9 years ago. Very cool. Well, I just want to tell our listeners some of the highlights of the book because you were so kind to give me this book when I met you at the children's business fair in Richmond.
Mhm.
So you have Kids Business Success, 50 Profitable Business Ideas, and a beginner's guide to entrepreneurship. And then your chapters are Welcome to the World of Kidpreneurs, Why Entrepreneurship is Great for Kids, Skills for Success. I like the 7 signs your child may be an entrepreneur. I'm going to fast forward to that. I love that. So, number 1, they have big ideas and love creating things. I love that. And the graphics, I'm going to hold up. It's just like it hits a home run, I think. So number 2, they enjoy solving problems and finding new ways to do things. Number 3, they show independence and drive long term. Number 4, they are not afraid to try and fail. I love this one. Number 5, they try to make money on their own. And you got 2 little boys there, like counting dollars and 20s and 10s there. And that was a good picture. It's a little comical, but it it definitely hits the mark. And number 6, they get bored with routine and want to do more. Number 7, they are passionate about a skill or a hobby. So,
Mhm.
so do you walk us down the path or procedure, the process of someone, and obviously they're with their parent when they come to the Bennett Center, and what happens next?
So we always do an interview with our children who are actually, the parents and the children who are excited about becoming new entrepreneurs. And we make sure that they're a good fit for the program because the parents have to be involved. Children can't have businesses, not legally, right? And so when they come into our 12-week program, because it's so extensive, we have to have parents and guardians involved in that process, because by the time they're ending in that 12 weeks, they have their LLC, they have business banking, they have social media, they have an actual product that they're going to sell. And so we've helped them, they have a website, right? So we've helped them do all of those things. And in order to facilitate those things, the parents have to be involved in that process.
Right. And the LLC would actually be in the parent's name, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
It would.
So
Yep.
do you ever encounter a situation, because you said it has to be a good fit, right? So obviously, total support for the parents. Do you ever encounter a situation where the parent wants it more than the child? Does that ever happen where it's really the parent's dream, but the child is just kind of almost the mascot there? You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And I think it goes both ways. Sometimes the kids want to do it more than the parent, and sometimes the parents want to do it more than the kids. That's why it has to be a good fit. A lot of times we will have parents who, and that's in anything, whether it's football or whatever sport, a kid plays, or academically. And the parents want the best for their children. And so they want to make sure that they are, pushing them in the right direction. Right. And they want to help facilitate that. And there's nothing wrong with that. We just need to make sure it's a right fit for everyone.
And what is your retention rate? How many candidates, so to speak, make it to the end of the 12-week program?
We have a very good rate of finish. We usually our kids finish our program. Maybe 1 or 2 have not over the years. Because
almost nearly 100% graduation. Then.
Yes, because what we're doing is setting the foundation. My dog wants to say hi. He came rolling in. He wants to say hi. I'm sorry.
Richmond business dogs. That's fine.
Listen, they don't listen to anything we say. So, so we're helping them build the foundation. These are skills that they can take, way beyond us, right? So not just we always tell our kids, you start off with this product, and see it through. However, you can change your product at any time. Why? Because we've given you the building blocks of business.
Right. So talk about a particular success story that comes to mind. And you're in the Hampton Roads area, correct?
Yes, we are in the Hampton Roads area.
But you're going to be doing a fair here in Richmond. Is that right?
Yes. So we have the 5th annual Kid Expo that we do in Hampton at the Hampton Convention Center. That will be August 2nd. But then we're also doing the 1st annual Kid Expo in Richmond, and that's going to be June 14th at the Richmond Convention Center.
And how are you promoting that?
All through social media. If you go on our social media, whether you go on the Bennett Center, you can find links to be a vendor or to come and participate. The tickets are free. We never charge for our tickets. And we do a lot of things there. We give giveaways. Our vendors there, they're able to win grants. So we give away 5 $500 grants, and you can win multiple grants. So there are children that have come away with 3 grants from us, and you get your grants on the spot. You don't have to wait for them. So we do a lot for them. We do a lot of T-shirt giveaways and backpack.
And where will this be held in Richmond? Where will that be?
The Richmond Convention Center.
Wow, that's a big place. Very cool. And tell us the dates again.
It's June 14th, and it's from 10 to 3.
Okay. And if anyone who's listening wants to get in contact with you to become an exhibitor, how would they do that?
They can go to thebennetcenter.com.
Okay. All right. Great. So so if I'm a child entrepreneur, there is no fee for me to be an exhibitor. But if
No,
I'm an adult wanting to exhibit my business there is a fee.
No, there is a fee for children and
Oh,
adults to participate. It's free to come in if you are someone who
oh, I
wants
see.
to shop with the
For
vendors,
attendees. Okay, great.
right, or take advantage of the, activities that we have for the kids. You're
Uh-huh.
welcome to come and do that. Yes.
And there was such a diversity of exhibitors at the children's business fair that you and I met at.
Mhm.
That was that in February or early March? I can't really remember, but I think it might have been early March. But like
Sure.
there were obviously mostly kidpreneurs,
Mhm.
but then there were also businesses that were, marketing to parents as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
Um, whether that was, like a what do you call it? The bouncy house for birthday parties or whatever. I can't think of what they are, but and then you were there. So did you call some kidpreneurs to come to your fair coming up in
Um,
Tucson?
yeah, we were really just trying to get the word out and let them know that we are coming. And if they want to, of course, participate, letting them, a lot of times we get into businesses, whether you're children or adults, we get into businesses and we don't know the first thing about business, and we have so much, excitement, and we just get into it. Just like you were saying before when you were reading the book, like you said, I learned some things, right? And that happens a lot when our parents come into the class. Some of them have businesses already. They
Uh-huh.
have businesses themselves. And so they go, Alicia, there are so many things that you've taught in this 12 weeks that I have implemented in my own business
Uh-huh.
because of what I've learned. And if I would have had you when I was young, I would be in a different place right now. So
Well, and that was sort of leading up to my next question. And by the way, if you've just tuned in, you're listening to Richmond Business Babes here on WRWK 93.9 FM, The Work. And I am the host, Lisa Linnell. And here with me is the remarkable Ron, my producer, and also our special guest, which is Alasha Bennett, who is the founder of the Bennett Center for Child Entrepreneurship. And you kind of is a good entree from what you just said there, Alasha, into my next question, which is, do you ever counsel adults who want to start a business? Do you have a sideline doing that or anything?
So we've had this question so much throughout the
Mhm.
years that now, yes, we do have a division of that that we have started. Um, like I said, we have people that are helping us with that because I can't be all places at all times, and it takes a lot of work to mentor the kids as well. So we have people coming on to help with that.
Uh-huh.
But yes, we go from 5 to 17. So after they have aged out of our program, there is another program that they can go into as
Mhm.
adults.
That's great. That's really great. What percentage of your graduates go into that next level of program as an 18-year-old?
So we've just started that program. So we haven't gotten any students for that program just yet, but we have people asking all the time. So we would love to bring adults into that program. We've had our kids age out, and when they age out, they go to college, they go into military, they go, they move away, those types of things. So they haven't transitioned over into that program just yet.
Okay. I mean, that's very forward thinking that you've seen that need and probably a request actually.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so yeah, let's talk about a success story. I'm sure you have so many, but just pick one that kind of would exhibit, what you think is just a great trajectory of like, like this person came in, young man, young woman, whatever, and they had a product and or a product idea or a service idea. It could be a service idea. And then what happened next? Like does something come to mind for a success story?
Absolutely, like you said, I have so many, but but there is one that that stands out. We have a young man. His name is Eli, and Eli loves everything turtles. There is nothing about a turtle that Eli does not know.
Oh,
And
does he
so,
own a turtle?
I'm sorry.
Does he own a turtle?
Yeah. Oh, yes. He has many.
Many
He
turtles.
has many turtles.
Okay.
And so we created a book for him. So he is a two-time author now. He has not only a book, but a journal. And his book, Turtle Tales, which we helped him create, he has done wonders with that book. So not only is he in libraries, but he's also in the Virginia Living Museum.
Oh,
Um,
excellent.
and, he's on Amazon selling his book as well.
Oh,
And he's been on multiple news programs talking about his book. So yeah, he's done a wonderful thing. He talks to his class all the time when he goes to different schools, and he does camps at other like wildlife places where they
very good.
so he
Very good.
does
How old is he?
Eli is 12.
12. Oh,
He
excellent. So
started
that
with,
just builds so much confidence.
oh, absolutely. He started with me when he was about, I'm going to say 7.
Mhm.
So he started at 7, and then, everybody goes through life changes. And so they went away for a little while, and then they came back, and then they full steam ahead after that.
And is his book, what's the book called again?
The book is called Turtle Tales.
Turtle Tales. Okay.
by
So
Eli Mack.
is it fictional stories, or is it like how to raise turtles for fun and profit?
He's talking all about turtles. So he's
So it's just
specifically
nonfiction.
no,
Yeah.
it's he's saying facts about turtles, and he's
Right.
actually
Right. In other words, it's not like a fairy tale type story.
it's
It's
definitely
just
not
all about
fiction.
turtles. So everything you always want to know about a turtle. Okay, cool.
Exactly.
I always like, this when you started talking about Eli and his turtle fascination. When my daughters were very young, we went to a physician, which, was it instead of having a fish tank in their waiting room, they had a turtle tank with the little tiny turtles.
Mhm.
And I just love watching them. They were just
Yeah.
Eli would have gone nuts over that. I mean, they were just jumping on the logs, jumping off the logs, swimming around. It's more fun than watching fish, I think.
Oh,
So,
he taught me so much about turtles, helping him create the book. It's like you learn so much from the children. We have a shirt, I think it says, if there's a young person in the room, you're not the smartest person in the room, or something like that. To that effect, right?
like that. That's good.
Because I mean, as young as 5, they teach us so much
Yes.
about business and life. Like
Yeah.
I'm always amazed by them.
Out of the mouth of babes, right? So Eli not only learned how to start a business and promote his business, but also self-publish, right? So you took him down that journey of publishing, which I'm sure is very interesting for a young person, as well. And then also promoting with, being on the news and of course, social media. So that's great. So you're coming up, you're making a foray now into Richmond. What is on the agenda for you, Alasha Bennett, in addition to, running the Bennett Center, running the graduate program for young adults who want to, still continue with your consulting services? And is that, a graduate program for young adults, is that for profit, or is that continuing to be nonprofit?
No, that's part of the nonprofit as well.
Okay. All right. So it's just a division. What is next with your foray into Richmond? What is the outcome that you're seeking there?
I would love to, like you have the Richmond Business Fair, you have all of these, places that are organizations that are helping young entrepreneurs, and we're just adding to the pot. We have different universities for a reason because people like to go where maybe their specialty is, or one entrepreneur place is doing something different than another. So it's all about supporting each other. And just like I was at the Richmond Business Fair, they're going to come to mine. They always do. And we always support one another. I would love to bring a foundation and structure to the Richmond area where parents can really grab hold. And like I said, these parents themselves start businesses. So
That's
they
great.
do that.
That's really great. Well, I'm very glad I met you, and I'm very glad you took the time to come on Richmond Business Babes. Tell us a little bit more about another success story. So you talked about Eli and his love of turtles. Let me backtrack here. Is there ever, because you've been doing this for 9 years now, so have you ever encountered a scenario where you realized that the product or service that the child was wanting to start actually wasn't going to work? And if so, like, what did you redirect them, or did that ever happen?
So when they first get to the program, if they have an idea, we help them flesh it out. We have mentors that help them do that. So we make sure that the business is viable for them. So they're going to learn along the way. Of course, we have failures. Business works if you work it, right?
Right.
But in business, we're always growing, we're always changing, we're adapting.
Right.
So business works, you just have to be able to work it. So, but we have our mentors that help them get started with their idea. So we
Right.
make sure that's a viable idea that they have so that they do have that success, so that they
Yes.
do feel accomplished at the end of it. We always say you can always change your business, once you finish the program, or if you're just tired of that and you want to do something else. Businesses do it all the time, right? And so they change their direction all the time.
And the product
Their
line
business.
into
Yeah.
the
They do
customer
it.
feedback. Yeah. Well, and you said about failure. That's number 4 in the 7 signs your child may be an entrepreneur. They're not afraid to try and fail.
Correct.
So that's great. If you had to summarize those 7 signs, and it's funny, I wanted to bring this up too, because last week we had the daughter of a woman who runs a house cleaning and commercial cleaning business. And this daughter came on because the mom couldn't make it. So it was sort of last minute switch of guests, so to speak. And the daughter was 22. She had been with her mother since age 5 when her mother started this house cleaning business. And at the end of the show, I said, so, what are you studying in college? And she was a psychologist, going to be a psychologist and all that. And I said, so do you think you will be running your own business? And she said, no, she did not want that. She saw all the effort and like 7 days a week and just on demand of her mother's time. And she said, I just want a job. So my question is, you had in the book the 7 signs that your child, may become an entrepreneur, should be an entrepreneur. Are there signs that, this is not for some people?
I don't know that I would say that. And let me tell you why. It's the type of job or the type of career path or product that you're choosing, because she could do a digital product and just make money in her sleep. And she'd never have to go to a vendor event. She would never have to sell herself, so to speak, in person. She would never have to do like the networking thing. She can literally just be online. She can have a faceless YouTube page. She can have a faceless Instagram, and then she can sell products and make, everything takes effort and time. However, you don't have to work hard, because the whole point of business is of being an entrepreneur and working for yourself is freedom.
Yes.
So if you're not scaling your business so that you can be free from it, then there's a little bit more work that you have to do within that business in order to get it there. A lot of people struggle with that, and where they're not scaling their business, hiring employees, and then some people just don't want to do that. They love what they do and they don't want to hire employees. But we also have to remember, if something happens to you, if you are the only one that's doing the business, what happens to your business? Right.
Yes.
And so we teach those things in the class as well. We teach them about scaling and, It's a continuous process. So even though they do the 12 weeks, we don't just leave them. We're always mentoring them and having classes, and they can get on our schedule and of course talk to us. We're always in contact with them.
I really like how you handled the answer to that question. You know why? Because you turned it around to solving that person's problem of what she didn't like, and bringing in a solution of, you can still do this just another
Mhm.
way. So
Mhm.
that's really cool that you did that. Well, tell everyone again, Alasha Bennett, who you are, where the Bennett Center is, how they can get in touch with you, and the upcoming Children's Business Fair in June here in Richmond.
Absolutely. My name is Alasha Bennett. I am the founder of the Bennett Center, where we bring whole families out of poverty. And you can find us on thebennettcenter.com. We are having a Kidpreneur Expo in Richmond. Come see us June 14th from 10 to 3 at the Richmond Convention Center.
Wonderful. And if they do want to sign up for your program, you said it's a 12-week program. And what is the cost of that program?
So it's $1,200 in order for the kids to participate. However, we make sure that we give them the opportunity through different types of fundraisers. So there's a lot of things they can do. They can sell books, they can sell t-shirts. We have letters that they can send out to their church, to their friends, to their email list, in order to help them campaign to get that money together. We see that if we charge something, that the families appreciate the program more, and they stay connected to the program, and they actually finish the program.
I like that. All right. Well, Alasha Bennett, thank you so much for coming on Richmond Business Babes, and all the best with the Bennett Center and the upcoming event in June at the Richmond Convention Center. I know it's going to be phenomenal.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Take care now. All right. Well, that was our first guest, Alasha Bennett. And the show today, if you've just tuned in, you're listening to Richmond Business Babes here on WR, WK 93.9 FM, The Work. And with me, I'm your host, Lisa Linnell. With me is the remarkable Ron, my producer, pulling all the strings and pushing all the right buttons. I appreciate that. And this show is called Kidpreneurs and How to Become One, Teens and Tweens who are starting their own businesses. And this is just part one. I'm planning to have a part two either next week or the following week. And we just concluded a little talk there with Alasha Bennett, founder of the Bennett Center, which guides young entrepreneurs towards success. I met Alasha at the Richmond Richmond Children's Business Fair. And that was, I guess, about a month ago. I guess it was in March. And it was really fun. It was behind the Science Museum at I think it's called the Dewey Gottwald Center. That's where it was held. And there were so many young people there. And I think our next guest is calling in now. So let me tell you about one of the guests that I met at the Richmond Children's Business Fair. And her name is Maisie Foster. And, I was going and introducing myself to different kids there who were exhibiting. And I really liked Maisie's product very much. So if you're live streaming, I'm going to hold up the product that she had, which is a dish towel. But I liked what she embroidered on it, which is, "For we live by faith, not by sight," 2 Corinthians 5:7. So I thought, well, that's really cool that a young person is embroidering a beautiful scripture and little flowers and butterflies. And I don't even want to use it. It's so nice. But anyway, so I was really, I enjoyed all of her product line. And there were so many interesting kids there. There were kids that were selling baked goods and lotions and, jewelry and craft items. But something about Macy and her product line, and I bought the towel. I said, well, maybe she'd like to come on to Richmond Business Babe. So welcome, Maisie Foster. How are you? Can you hear me, Macy?
Try again, Maisie. Sorry.
Hi.
There you go.
Hi. Welcome to Richmond Business Babes here on WRWK 93.9 FM, The Work. And is your dad, Ben Foster, in the background there too?
No,
No. Whoa.
it's Mom.
Oh, Mom. Hi, Mrs. Foster.
Hi.
What is your first name?
I'm Brooke. Nice to meet you. Nice to talk with you.
Oh, nice to talk with you too. I know you're so proud of Macy. That was some fair, huh, Macy? That was like a really cool happening, I thought. Did you enjoy yourself there?
Yes.
Good, good. Did you sell a lot of towels there and cloths?
Yes, I sold out on all the towels.
Oh, very good. That's quite an achievement. How many were there that you sold out on? Do you remember?
There was only 5.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's good. And you had some other products, I think, right?
Yes, I did.
What were they?
I had some bookmarks, and then I made 2 spare pillows.
Okay. And did you sell out on those too?
I didn't sell much of the 2 spare pillows, and I almost sold out on one kind of bookmark.
Okay. So the towels were the big hit.
Yes, they were a very big hit.
Yeah. Well, I really liked it. I was glad I bought one. Well, tell us, Maisie Foster, how old are you?
I'm 11 years old.
Okay. Are you in 5th grade, 6th grade?
I'm in 6th grade.
6th grade. Okay. And how long have you been making bookmarks and embroidery? Is that called embroidery? What you did on the towels and the cloths?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. You can call me Lisa. Thank you. So how long have you been doing that?
I started my business this year, so that was my first time doing the business at the farmer's market. But I first went to embroider when I was around 6.
Oh, okay. So you're 11 now, so you've been embroidering since 6. So you have 5 years of embroidery. Almost half your life has been dedicated to embroidery. That's pretty cool. What do you like about embroidery?
I just like the quiet time a lot, and I don't know, I guess I just like making stuff and being creative.
You're very creative. So what were your thoughts on being at the fair? There were a lot of other kids your age. Some were older. I noticed some were like 17. They're practically adults, right? What were your thoughts about being at the fair? You had done a farmer's market before doing the fair?
I hadn't done the farmer's market before doing the fair.
Okay, so the fair was like your big, you just jumped in, like you dove into the pool, just feet first, sink or swim. I'm going to the fair, Mom and Dad. And now you're there and there's hundreds of people. I had a very good turnout. I was shocked. So what were the thoughts in your head? Did you get to walk around and see the other kids' businesses too? Did you have any time to do that?
I saw the businesses that were a couple rows away from me, but I didn't see much unless I was walking around. And I didn't get to walk around much because a lot of people were coming to my stand.
Yeah, you want to sell. That's why you're there. Well, that's good. So was it exciting to you to be there and meet people and know that they like your product?
Yes, it was very exciting.
Oh, good. That's great. So as a businesswoman, as a young kidpreneur, entrepreneur, young lady businesswoman, Maisie Foster, and I didn't even tell our audience the name of your company. I'm so sorry. Your company is called Simply Sewn Handcrafted by Maisie. So that's nice.
Yes.
And you have a QR code. I mean, it was you had the flyer and the QR code. You had everything, and a lot of the other kids had that as well. I was impressed by the sophistication of the marketing and the promotion by so many of the young young people there. But anyway, so the whole point of a business, Maisie Foster, is to make money, right? Because they say if you're not making money, you really just have a hobby. It's not a business. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you some personal questions if you're comfortable answering them. And Brooke, at any point, you can always pop in as well.
Okay.
So I'm holding the beautiful cloth with the beautiful stitching on it, and I'm thinking to myself, well, she put a lot of time into it. She not only just did the scripture verses, but she did the flowers and the little butterfly. I love that little butterfly. And I thought, well, I wonder how much she spent on the cloth and how much time she put into it. So do you buy, where do you buy your supplies? Do you go to a place like Michael's, or do you buy online where it might be a little cheaper?
I just got the cloths at Walmart for like $10.
Okay. And $10 for how many cloths? Like 50, 25?
It was like $9 for 8 cloths. I mean, 10
$9.
cloths.
$9. Okay. So less than $1 a cloth, right? You
Yes.
put in the time to do the stitching and the embroidery, and then I think you sold it for $3, right?
Right.
Okay. So you made $2 on each cloth. Is that right?
Yes.
Pretty much,
Yes, ma'am.
minus the thread, for the stitching. So that's your profit, right?
Mhm.
So, and then you sold
Right.
5 cloths, so that's $10. So that's pretty good.
Mhm.
Have you thought about raising your price to make more profit?
Yeah, I thought about raising it to $5, and I think I'm gonna do that.
I think you should. I thought it was really a great bargain because I would have paid $5. And if you sold out, that indicates that there's a demand for your item, right?
Right.
Right. So, and then let's talk about the other item. You had a bookmark. I forgot about that. Sorry. I was just so loving the closet. So you had the bookmarks too, right?
Right.
And do you know what the cost of making those were?
I do not.
Okay. All right.
I think we got the felt in a pack.
Okay.
And so I would say that each piece that she used for each bookmark, she probably spent about 20 cents per bookmark. And then how
Okay.
much did you sell them for, Maisie?
I sold them for $1.
Okay, so you made 80 cents on each bookmark. That's not bad. I like that. Very good. And then what was the third item you had? I forgot what you said.
I had tooth fairy pillows.
Okay. All right. So you're going to go to a farmer's market next?
I think so.
Okay.
The Richmond Children's Entrepreneur has one coming up soon. So I think the game plan is for her to go to that. And then we might test ourselves if her parents are brave enough at a farmer's market.
Okay.
Oh.
Well spoken, Brooke Foster, mom of Maisie. So are you referring, Brooke, to the June Richmond Convention Center Expo?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
because my guest prior to Maisie coming on is running that, Alasha Bennett.
Oh,
Yeah, of the Bennett Center.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you go to the BennettCenter.com, it's a nonprofit and she's running that. So yeah, she was talking about that. So would you do anything differently if you went to this next kids expo, Maisie, than you
Yes.
okay.
I'm making pine needle baskets
Mhm.
instead. of the toothfairy pillows because they weren't a big seller, so I'm making those instead. And they're very low cost because there's a lot of pine needles in our yard, so all you have to buy is the string.
That's right. You have a very ample supply of product or material anyway. That's good. So yeah, that's great. So that will make you a bigger profit. Very good. And they were a big seller in this past expo that I met you at.
I haven't made the pine needle baskets
Oh.
before, so I'm starting now, and I think I'm going to put like Bible verses inside of them so that I can still do that.
Oh, that's very nice. And do you pick out Bible verses that you personally like, or do you pick out Bible verses that you think other people like, or what do you gravitate toward when you choose a Bible verse?
I'm trying to help a lot more people believe in God, so I choose ones that will so that you should believe.
Oh, that's beautiful. And this is Lent, right? And then we're going to have Easter soon, where we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. So that's a beautiful thing. I love that. And the one that I said that I bought from you is for we walk by faith, not by sight. I love that. That's really awesome. Well, God bless you, Maisie Foster of Simply Sewn Handcrafted by Maisie. And thank you, Brooke, for making this happen as well. And tell Ben we thank him as well. And if somebody wants to get in touch with you and buy your product, do you, Brooke, are you able to, or you don't want to do anything like that over there?
We are setting all the kids up with their own, with a business Facebook account.
Okay.
So she will be able to be looked up on Simply Sewn Facebook account.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there.
Okay, excellent.
Right now, she's just making just enough for the markets, and so we don't have. I guess we don't have enough time on our hands quite yet
Right.
for websites or anything else.
Okay, sure. Well, Maisie, I mean, maybe one day you'll be so successful that you'll actually have employees, other kids that you can pay to help you, and then you can generate more product. Churn it out. Right?
Great idea.
Right.
Well, I'm so glad you came on Richmond Business Babes. Thank you so much, Maisie Foster of Simply Sewn, and Brooke, and all the best to you. I'm glad that I met you, Macy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you. All right. Well, that was our second guest for today's show, which is Kidpreneurs and How to Become One. Teens and tweens who are starting their own businesses, part 1. So we are going to have a part 2. I think it's going to be next week. And first up, we had Alasha Bennett of the Bennett Center, and she is putting on a show in the Richmond Convention Center. And then, of course, we just met with Maisie Foster of Simply Sewn, and so she's going to have her own. And I have coming up next a special guest who is a return guest, and that is Kim Moody. She is the owner of the estate at River Run, and what I like about Kim is she's just so energetic and so willing to talk about her wonderful wedding and event venue. And she very recently had a spread in People magazine, and it was the NFL star Kobe Turner of the Los Angeles Rams, who recently married his stunning bride, Alyssa Villanueva, Villanueva, at Kim Moody's wedding venue, the estate at River Run. So she was just featured, her wedding venue was just featured in People magazine March 9th. So that's pretty exciting. So I think she may be trying to get in touch with me right now, the remarkable Ron. So I don't know. My phone is blowing up here. So I'm just going to step away for one moment and see if this is Kim. Okay.
Exciting stuff coming out of this session. Indeed. I was really tickled to hear that youthful people are being encouraged to start businesses. That's the way to teach people. Don't look for a job. Look for a meaningful activity. In fact, meaning comes from what you do with your hands. So if you're working for somebody else, that's fine. But if you can do it yourself, that's even better. So do we have a caller?
Yes, we have Kim Moody, who is our special guest today to wrap up the show. And let me tell you a little bit more about her. So she is the founder, owner, one of the owners, she and her husband, I believe another couple, of the estate at River Run. And Kim, I'm so glad you made the time to come on, because I was just telling our audience that you were recently, your venue was recently featured in People magazine March 9th. So welcome back as a return guest to Richmond Business Babes.
Hey, Lisa, thank you. Yeah, we were so excited to get the People magazine feature. We had some fabulous West Coast clients who are pretty well known in the NFL, and People magazine picked up their story and showcased their wedding here at our property, and we were honored to host them, and it was such a blast.
Oh, I mean, the spread was incredible. And I was looking at, the beautiful photographs of Kobe Turner of the Los Angeles Rams and his bride, Alyssa Villanueva. I think I'm saying that correctly. And in the background, I mean, they looked great, but I'm like looking in the background and I'm like, look at that view. You've got the river, and it almost looks like mountains, but it's really not mountains. But it was just breathtaking. So how did that all come about? Talk about that, because that's just such a wonderful feather in your cap there to host an event like that.
We were honored to do it. They are absolutely great people. We could not have asked for better clients. They're also just so in love, so it was so refreshing. A lot of couples, when they're getting married, they're very focused on the wedding, but not so focused on the marriage. And those two were definitely an exception to that. They were very focused on one another, which was so special. They actually toured the property, and I didn't know who they were at the time. And
it's probably better that way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I did notice that he was pretty tall. It was pretty large.
Tall and large, okay.
At first, I did kind of wonder if he was an athlete, but then he hopped on we have a Bostendorfer piano from Vienna that was made for this property about 40 years ago, and he hopped on that and started playing classical music and sounded like he was part of the Richmond Symphony, and really knocked our socks off.
Oh, my goodness.
At that time, I was like, well, he's probably not an athlete. But I was
just
wrong.
A very muscular musician.
Yeah, he's very talented at both. He actually was just this past season on the TV show The Masked Singer. So he was competing on that show as well. So
cool.
Yeah, their wedding planner out of Washington, D.C., who they hired to help them with their venue search, is actually who found us. So obviously the couple lives in California and had very limited time for venue hunting, and so they employed her to handle that, and she found us, and we had a great experience working together.
That's really neat, Kim Moody of the estate of River Run, that you snagged a California couple to come all the way back to Richmond, Virginia, and come to your wedding and event venue. Very cool. And they were high school sweethearts, right?
They were so sweet and in love. You would have thought this was the prom and not their wedding.
Oh,
They were
gee. I
They're
love
not
that.
our first, definitely not our first higher profile couple, but this has been our first experience with a couple ever physically like promoting their event, because most of the time it's private. So obviously
Sure.
we're not doing a lot of discussion of who's getting married here, and all of those things are kept under wraps. But
Yeah.
when they told us that People Magazine was going to be covering the wedding, obviously that was very exciting for us, because it was kind of the green light that we were allowed to
Yeah.
say after the fact that they got married here.
Yes, yes, that's really so wonderful. Did that make you, and every time I've talked to you, Kim Moody, you're just always just vivacious, but you never strike me as being like that you would get nervous at a wedding, but like knowing that People Magazine was there, did that make you nervous or not?
You know, we're pretty high achieving on all of our couples, so it doesn't matter if it's a celebrity wedding or the girl next door. They're all really important to us. So I think every wedding we have a little bit of butterflies trying to get ready for it. But this one specifically was very early in the spring season, so our nerves were more like the grass hasn't greened out yet,
Oh.
the trees haven't bloomed, all of that. But you can't do anything about nature. So
Yeah,
it is what it is.
the nature is what it is. That's right. And you've got another event coming up, I think on Sunday, right?
We do. We have a really amazing, we do it about 2 to 3 times a year, a community ticketed tour. So if any of the listeners are interested in coming to River Run Sunday afternoon, it will be open to the public with tickets, obviously, during that time frame, beginning at 4:30. And it's architectural history tour where we go through the whole bottom 3 floors of the property, as well as the pool house, and talk to all of the folks in attendance about that. We do this a few times a year, and it's really the only time the community or anybody in the surrounding areas can get into the property if they're not a guest at the wedding. So we look forward to doing that. We do a lot of community ticketed events throughout the year, but this one is always a fun one for sure.
Great, great. Well, I'm so glad that you reached out to me and informed me of the People Magazine spread and this great wedding event between Kobe Turner and Alyssa Nueva. And I said to myself when I first saw it, I was like, oh, are they from Richmond? Like, are they from, around here? Like childhood high school sweethearts. What high school did they go to? Midlothian or I was trying to figure it out. And then of course, no, they're not. But that's great that you're on the national scene, with the Washington, D.C. wedding planner seeking you out. Now you're, on a national level. So I'm very happy for you. Great. Well, is there any way that you could maybe let everyone know how to get in touch with you?
Sure, absolutely. The estate at riverrun.com is our website, so you can find out any information about bookings and ticketed events, special events that we do throughout the year, or reach out to us about hosting a wedding or any type of social or corporate event. We'd love to help everyone and give everybody the same level of care and excellency that we did for Elisa and Kobe. So thanks so much for having us on.
Absolutely, Kim Moody. Thank you for coming on. You take care. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right. That was our special guest, Kim Moody, owner of the estate at River Run. And that's actually in Goochland. And I haven't yet been there. She's invited me numerous times. And you as well, Ron. I know she's invited you.
Yeah.
I haven't actually toured the property yet, but every time I see more and more photos of it, I'm like, geez, I've got to get out there. It's quite beautiful.
Yes.
And I know that she's hosted other events with Rita Ricks, who also is who was a guest on Richmond Business Babes. Rita Ricks is a motivational speaker, and she's done a lot of events out there at the estate at River Run. So it's just a really, really cool place. Yeah. And what I didn't want to get into too much, but what I loved about Kim Moody, what I love about her is when she first came on, which was years ago, it was like right at the height of the pandemic, and she had just bought the property like, I don't know, 6 months before. So, but obviously she thrived and is doing very well, and I'm so happy for her and the other co-owners there. But anyway, if you've missed any portion of this show, you can always check us out. We have podcasts on our website, which is Richmond Business Babes. And you can listen to podcasts of the past shows. And this show was Kidpreneurs and How to Become One, Teens and Tweens who are starting their own businesses, part 1. And we do hope to have part 2 next week. And we had our first guest, Alasha Bennett, founder of the Bennett Center, which guides young entrepreneurs towards success. And soon will also guide young adults, 18 or older, towards success as well.
Like us, huh?
Yes, like us. Well, are we young adults, Ron? Would you call
I
us
think
young at heart,
reason.
right? Young at heart. And then at the bottom of the hour, we met Maisie Foster, the 11-year-old owner of Simply Sewn Handcrafted by Maisie, and her mom, Brooke, was on as well. And then our special guest, Kim Moody. So I just want to say thank you so much for listening here at Richmond Business Babes. Thank you, the remarkable Ron, my producer. And if you are a Richmond business babe, yeah, you go get them.
That's telling them. Okay, well, it's time to sign off of that show. And that was always fun. Let me get to that. Wave goodbye now to those folks on radio.